Alright, you lot. Welcome to this week's Hey Scotty, where I take your questions, have a bit of a laugh, and try to give you a straight answer. Sprinkle with just right amount of Yorkshire charm and sarcasm to keep things interesting. Whether it's gaming, life, or whatever chaos you throw my way, no topics off table, and no answers sugar-coated. Got a burning question, or just fancy hearing me rant? You've come to the right place. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that bollocks. It helps the channel grow. Right, let's roll intro and get started. Alright, this cheeky one comes from our southern mate DroneNet, back again for banter. He asks, was this picture taken from your family album when you were younger? Mate, I wish. But nah, unfortunately at that point in my life I wasn't exactly angelic. More like demon spawn your nan warned you about. I mean, back then, me glow-up potential was, shall we say, subterranean? And now? Well, let's just say glow-up never actually showed up. Honestly, only reason I can step outside a house these days without neighbours calling authorities is because I got a hoodie on and a face that screams stay 20 feet back. Kids cry, dogs whimper, cats hiss. It's like I'm bloody Pied Piper of trauma. Fact, local villagers ain't stormed me house with pitchforks yet is no short of a miracle. Probably cause they don't want to risk looking at me directly for too long. Smart move. But nah, picking question, just a generic image I found online. You know, but memes. Cause why not have a laugh at someone else's expense when my own reflection's doing heavy lifting in that department? Cheers for the question, mate. Hope you're doing well down there in sunny wherever hell you are. Actually, while you're down there, you do me a favour. This banger comes from our mate Tonyist over on Discord who asks, since Vampire Masquerade BloodHunt seems like one of fast-moving shooters that you enjoy, what about it do you feel makes it inferior? Right, well, brace yourselves. It's a battle royale. That alone's enough for me to immediately slap it in nah mate pile. Don't get me wrong, I like a good fast-paced shooter, but throw in standard battle royale mechanics and suddenly it's less about skill and more about RNG, camping and third-partying. Sounds about as fun as being locked in a room with a flat earther and no alcohol. Also, it's only available on PS5 and PC. Now don't get me started on console exclusivity nonsense. I mean, I'm PC and Xbox. All way. So hope that snubs one side at gaming world feels like it's gatekeeping fun. Cheers for that. Now I did enjoy 2004 PC game Vampire Masquerade Bloodline. That were a cracking RPG. Proper storytelling. Immersive world building. Based on popular TTRPG. I mean, it had its flaws, but it's still one of those cult classics that stands test of time. But since then, I ain't touched any of newer entries. BloodHunt though? Nah mate, no interest whatsoever. Just not my cup of tea, and I'm not about to pretend otherwise. That said, Bloodlines 2 is apparently set to drop some point this year, and that one, I might be tempted. If it can capture even a fraction of what made original so good, I'll be there, controller in hand, ready to sink my teeth in. Pun fully intended. Cheers for the question, mate. And for the rest of you, if you want to get involved, join Discord. Links in description. Plus, if you're a channel member, you get access to an exclusive VIP chat room. Just don't abuse it, yeah? I'm watching you. Another clear banger comes from your boy Ricky123 who asks, who do you think is worse, cheater or cheat developer? I blame cheat, that one's ruining people's experience. Cheat devs could just be a situation of misplaced talent. It's not gun that kills, it's person holding it. Ricky, mate, you absolutely smashed it. Couldn't agree more if I tried. Cheats and exploits in gaming have been around longer than your dad's dodgy haircut from 80s. And while I do think cheat developers deserve a slap on wrist, or let's be honest, a brick to face, it's cheaters themselves who are ones truly ruining it for resters. They've got one goal, malicious intent. That one's walking into a match with sole purpose of turning someone's good time into a rage-fueled misery spiral. Scumbags, lot of them. But you know what's fascinating? And by fascinating I mean frustrating as hell. These cheat devs are essentially flashing a giant neon sign at gaming industry saying, oi, look at cracks in your security. And what do publishers and anti-cheat companies do? Pour millions. Nah, scratch that. Billions into trying to patch holes. Like they're playing a giant game of whack-a-mole, except moles are always one step ahead and laughing all the way to the bank. It's kicker though, and it's as obvious as a sore thumb. Why don't they just hire these cheat devs? I mean, you're dealing with people who've literally cracked your system wide open. You'd think a smart move would be to say, alright mate, you're clearly clever, how about we pay you to stop screwing us over and fix this mess instead? But nah, gaming industry don't work like that. See, even if they hired cheat devs, it wouldn't solve problem. There's always a bigger fish, always someone hungrier, someone smarter, ready to fill gap in market. Cut off head at snake, and another one's already slithering out from under rock. It's an arms race that never ends. Industry keeps shelling out cash like it's monopoly money, and cheaters and devs just keep upping ante. So yeah, cycle continues. Cheaters ruin fun, cheat devs exploit cracks. Industry throws cash at problem while refusing to address it creatively. Cheers for that, humanity. Thanks for the question, Ricky. Absolute corker of a topic. Now let's hear it, folks. What's everyone else think? Are cheaters real enemy, or are cheat devs bigger villains? Sound off in comments. This next one comes from Pyro Friendly Arsonist 9195, who says, what made you want to make video? Fair question, mate, and while it might seem basic, there's a bit of story behind it. See, I'm in a situation where I'm stuck at home most of the time. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not just sitting around twiddling my thumbs. I run my own business from home, which keeps me busy. Whereas anyone who's worked from home will tell you, it's easy for days to blur together. And I found myself needing something more to sink my teeth into during my spare time. That's when YouTube came into picture. I wanted to do something creative, something fun, and most importantly, something that lets me connect to people who share my interests. It's a way to turn all random thoughts and rants bouncing around my head into content that hopefully entertains, sparks a laugh, or gets people thinking. And let's face it, I've got a knack for banter. And if I can make someone laugh, join discussion, or feel a bit less alone in the gaming frustrations, then it's worth it. YouTube's become my outlet, a way to balance grinder running my business with something I genuinely enjoy. So yeah, YouTube wasn't just a random choice. It was best way to channel my downtime into something productive and fun. Cheers for the question, Pyro. Now over to you lot. What's hobby or passion that keeps you going? Drop it in comments. This next question comes from Firkinell, and I've got to say, mate, I actually hate you for this one. He asks, if you could invite 4 people to a dinner who are famous and not family or friends, who would you choose and why? Right, strap in, this is about to get weird. This question had me pacing around like a lunatic trying to nail it down, but after a lot of deliberation and a pint or two, I've got my guest list sorted. First up, if you're going to have someone for dinner, you may as well have someone for dinner. Enter Hannibal Cannibal Lecter. Now, alright, he's not technically real, but let's not split hairs. Man's a culinary genius, psychiatrist, and bonus, an absolute nutter. He'd make for some top-notch conversation, and possibly dessert. Next up, Sean Bean. Let's face it, every proper dinner party needs a Yorkshireman for some good old-fashioned banter. Plus, in true Sean Bean fashion, you know he's not making it to dessert anyway. Poor sod will probably end up being dessert. Hannibal's main course with a side of Chianti. Cheers, Sean. The sacrifice won't go unnoticed. Third on list, Blad Third Dracul, aka Blad Impaler. Oh, you know this guy has stories, death, conquests, more skewering than a shish kebab festival. I'd love to hear his side of history, get into his motivation, and, let's be honest, he could help Hannibal prep meal. Maybe even share a bit of that Yorkshire pudding Sean Bean special. Teamwork makes dream work, eh? Finally, Osako Kaori, aka WWE's Kairi Sane, Naomi Artie. While boys are off swapping recipes and shouting steaks, Kairi and I'd be whining, dining and chatting about whatever bloody hell she wants. Then when dinner's done, we'd take after party to bedroom for our own wrestling match. Winner takes all, if you know what I mean. There you go, mate. 4 famous faces, none of them family or friends. And let's be honest, this dinner party's gonna be one for ages. You didn't specify live, dead, real or fictional, so I leaned all the way into chaos. Cheers for the question, you legend. Now it's your turn. Who's your 4? Drop it in comments. This little fire starter comes from Leon Barnes 85, who commented, Trump's gonna make gaming great again. Nah, mate, this is where I probably lose a few subscribers when I say, no he's not. But before you start sharpening your pitchforks, let me explain. Look, I'm not here to bash Trump. I'm actually a supporter. As a UK lad, I've still got faith he can steer USA back on course. Man's got power, sure, but it's kicker. He don't have that much power. Not in gaming industry anyway. Let's break it down. First off, his move on DEI, diversity, equity and inclusion for those of you living under a rock, is something I actually kinda back. There's no denying gaming industry has gotten itself in a weird place. Hiring people who couldn't code the way out of a wet paper bag simply cause they tick some boxes on a corporate checklist. Absolute bullshit if you ask me. Talent should always trump identity politics. No pun intended. Not rocket science. If you want good games, you hire good devs. End of story. But let's not kid ourselves, that's not going to revolutionise gaming. Sure, checking up DEI might clean out some cobwebs, but it's not silver bullet people think it is. Why? Because problem ain't just developers, it's fat cat publishers at top at food chain, pulling strings like corporate puppeteers, squeezing every last penny out of us gamers. Microtransactions, loot boxes, season passes for a game that's already 70 quid. That's not fault of some junior dev who just got hired to meet a quarter. That's publishers, Activision, EA, Ubisoft, take a bow lads, and the relentless pursuit of profit over player experience. And let me be clear, Trump can't touch that. He can't regulate it. He can't executive order it away. Hell, even if he wanted to, these companies would just find a loophole and keep milking us dry. So if Trump ain't gonna make gaming great again, who is? Us, players. We've got power. We've got to stop throwing our wallets at every half-baked release. Stop pre-ordering games that are guaranteed to launch broken. Stop feeding beast. Because as long as we keep lining their pockets, they'll keep serving us same read of garbage. It's on us to demand better, to hold these publishers accountable, and to push for the kind of gaming industry we want. Trump might shake up a few things here and there, but real change starts with people who keep lights on. Us. Don't get me wrong, Leon, I get where you're coming from. Trump's all about making things great again, and I believe he's got a shot to doing that for states. But gaming? Nah mate, that fight's ours. Cheers for the comment, Leon. Now over to the rest of you. What do you reckon? Can gaming ever be great again, or are we stuck in this cycle of mediocrity and corporate greed? Drop your thoughts in comments. And that's it for this week's episode. Cheers for sticking around, you absolute legends. If you've enjoyed chaos, or even if you haven't, there's plenty more where that come from. If you want to keep banter going, join Discord for exclusive chats, gaming talk, and questionable life advice. Fancy keeping up with my rants in real time? Follow me on X. And hey, if you're feeling extra generous, become a channel member. You'll get access to VIP chat, bonus content, maybe even some behind the scenes chaos. All links are down in the description, so don't miss out. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and leave your comments and questions below. Might just feature them on channel. I'll see you next time, you magnificent.